Well, hello and welcome to the Skool Bookshop. Today we chat to a man with the biggest heart and incredible knowledge and experience in mental health and also emotional literacy and so much more. Scott has had a whopping big life. His journey has taken him from boilermaking in Mount Isa to commercial diving, the treasure in Asia, bootlegging in Saudi Arabia, to an award-winning mental health worker and advocate in Australia. So in addition to his new release, which is The Boy on the Log, he has also online programs, an app, and he speaks on podcasts and to groups and so much more. Scotty, big welcome to you.
Hello, everybody. Morning, Rach. Thank you very much, Rach. I've got so much to thank you for.
Oh, so much. It's been a pleasure. Now, I actually know Scott. We've met so many times in Australia. I don't even know if I could count them all. But Scott, first, I think it was about 8 months ago. Do you think, Scotty?
Yeah, it was May, June, but I'd contacted you several years before that. I contacted you through email. It took me 20 minutes to 30 minutes to write that email, and you rang me back within 20 minutes personally. And that's one of the things that I knew you were the one that I needed to do the book with, but because I was following my emotions and my feelings. And yeah, I about 8, 9 months now, Rach, 10 months. And I gently apologise to you for, wow, what a journey. You just keep going and keep going and keep going, and very much appreciated.
Oh, geez, it's been a great journey with you, though. It's just been amazing. And I mean, one of the things that I really wanted to bring up today was that when you first reached out to me, one of the first things you told me was that you were dyslexic.
Yeah,
And so a lot of people are probably thinking to themselves, "Oh, I could never write a book if I'm dyslexic," but
you
you're the
can.
proof in the pudding that you absolutely can, and not just a good book, but a great book, and what a cracker book The Boy on the Log is.
Thank you. The next
So,
one's going to be good too.
yeah, I bet you never thought you'd be writing a second book, right?
I wasn't going down that way for a long, long time, and then very fortunately, I ended up sitting on you and Daniele. And again, you've got to follow your emotions, and when those feelings talk to you, listen to them, follow them.
Well, we're going to cover that because I do want to get into the emotional literacy because we did a lot of filming for you while you were developing your online programs and,
Five
helping you with
days.
book marketing as well, like doing videoing reels and all sorts of different crazy, amazing things. But so I know the scope of your wisdom and how much experience you have in the emotional literacy space and also the mental health space too, which you're still active in even today. But I think what we'll do is we'll start off with the book. We'll talk about the book to start with so that
Yes.
everybody can really gain a bit of more of a handle about what the book, The Boy on the Log, is all about. And how yeah, there it is. There's the cover. Actually,
I had
do a flick through, Scotty. Just do a flick
I
at
had planned
so he's
to
got some photos and everything else.
have
There's
this out already, but I got distracted. Um,
it's such a journey because you started from really tough like a really tough space in Mount Isa, growing up in that environment. Do you want to just have a brief
Brief.
overview of where you started from, how hard it was in the beginning?
Born in Brown Isa, 1964, many, many years ago. Um, a hard mining town, but a fair. It was a hard but fair upbringing. Um, Men back then were men, and you didn't have much choice about how you went. I was quite sick as a child. I now have done research on possibly the reasons of that. That followed me through school, even the start of school. When I went to visit my sibling at school, just school wasn't my place.
Well, school
Uh,
was difficult because you were dyslexic and you didn't know what dyslexic really was back then. But you do talk about this in the book, how you failed year 10 three times.
3 times, and I still haven't passed. I may go back and do it for the fourth time just to get that pass for me, not
Yeah,
for
for
anybody
you.
else, just for me. Yeah, 3 times in grade 10, 15, 16, 17 years of age, in a mining town, also at Charters Towers at boarding school, and then on to Gympie, just north of here on the Sunshine Coast, to finish my last stint into grade 10. I didn't even get to finish that. Um, but that was motivated by my father, very hard man. Love your dad. Alcoholic, but he was doing the alcohol for self-preservation for his own anxiety. And
Yeah.
then I found out about my anxiety, and yeah, and then after school, becoming a trade boilermaker. Um,
Was that
yeah,
difficult? Was that difficult being dyslexic? The
as a boilermaker back in those days.
learning the craft?
As a boilermaker, one of the reasons why I did it, my friends were boilermakers, and back in those days, to be a boilermaker, you didn't have to be that smart. All you had to do was lift heavy weights and drink alcohol, and I was good at both of those.
Yeah, and I know you do talk about addiction in your book because growing up with that, with those challenges and in that environment, it's sort of it is a natural progression for many people, isn't it, to lead into addictions and whatnot. But you don't have to, and I know you do cover that also in your book, which is really good because I think for some people they think that that's the only way. Everybody else has done it, so this is my way, and it's cracking out of that lane pretty
Yeah.
much. And you really have done that. You've completely transformed your life from where it was. So after boiler making, then what, how did you fall into commercial diving?
Oh, that was, and in the book, like growing up in Mount Isa, 9 hours drive from any salt water in any direction. I loved the local swimming pool. My mum and dad took me there. At the bottom of that pool was my safe place. And then I'd heard about so Francis Drake was on TV, and he was a gazetted pirate, but okayed by the English Crown, and shipwrecks and all that type of stuff. I love the idea of being underwater ever since I was little. So it had to be, and again, part of the book, follow your dreams. Dreams do come true,
Yeah.
as we know, Rach.
Well,
And
diving really took you around the world in ways that you probably never even imagined. And I know that I know diving is your thing. You absolutely love diving, but you
yes,
more so absolutely love exploring
on the
shipwrecks.
on the wall behind me, the photos and the porcelain. But before the diving came, I got qualified as into PADI in 1994. But in 1993, I went to Saudi Arabia. I was asked to go across there for my loyalty, which was undisputed, and my ability to do certain things and all the rest of it. And I got involved in the running of a black label, a black market alcohol business in Saudi Arabia, selling alcohol in
Yeah, those
Saudi.
some of those photos are very nerve-wracking, I have to say. And when we were working on the book and the story and everything else, I had my heart in my mouth a fair few times. I don't know, I don't know how you got through that.
Well,
Nerves of steel.
I know I came out the other end with PTSD, but then in 2020, which was the second mental breakdown, yeah, I found out about CPTSD, and I call it compounding PTSD, and that's from childhood, and that's where a lot of my emotional literacy and what I sort of try and gently advocate for is resetting your default settings,
Mm.
because those default settings are externally programmed into you as a child, from
Well, I
birth.
mean, you know, you've really you lived it so hard and so fast that there was probably not any time that you had just for your brain to catch up with what you were actually doing and
Yeah,
process any of the challenges, the pain, the traumas, all that sort of stuff that you've come through. And when so that's, you know, ultimately ends up in a breakdown every time, doesn't it? It kind of gets to that point and you go, well, it's your
yeah,
body's way of saying, you know what, stop, just no more, because you had addiction problems and you had like this hard and fast life. So it was going to catch up with you at some point, but I love the fact that even though you went through really hard times, those breakdowns were really horrible, but they also were breakthroughs, and they have led you to where you are now, where you are sober, you are clean, you are an amazing
loving it.
advocate and you know, guru in this emotional literacy and mental health space. You've lived it, breathed it. You see every point, every pain point that people have, and I know we've had discussions and different things like that, and
Yeah,
it's blown my mind. So um, you know, the space that you're in now, like you've come through all that and you survived all that, but it wasn't easy by any means of the imagination. But you're here, and you. One of the things that stuck out for me when I was working with you is that you had a driver, and that driver was you just wanted peace. You wanted peace.
yeah. For all those years, the dyslexic period of my life at school and boarding school, um, the bullying, the teasing, teaches a lot of things. But the pain that I walked with internally, more so, up here, just it'll either make you or break you, and it made me over a long period of time. And by doing that long period of time, you get to own it more. Most good things in life only come over time. And then this last 6 years working in mental health, to stand in front of some of the beautiful, beautiful souls that I have stood in front of, and alcohol and drugs can be a large part of why they are where they are now. Not all of them, not all. Some of it can be through birth, and or traumatic brain injuries, but uh, by when we get on this treadmill of life, we got to get that nice house, we got to get the nice car, we get married, we have children, all of that, and then this is some of the scientific and well-being life's research that they're doing now, that we all seem to hit that last 40s and 50s, and we can't shun away anymore from what's in here, because our
Mhm.
emotions are given to us at birth, and they come before thinking, before ego, before all of that. And your emotions will be with you when you die. They're the last thing. So, why do we go through 10, 12 years of schooling, university, but we won't sit with ourselves and learn our own emotional literacy? This is what I'm sharing now, and I've just come off
Why
of
why don't we? Is it because it's
too
fearful?
busy.
too
Yeah.
busy, we're too scared. You don't, I mean, you live with yourself every day. So I
Yes.
don't know why we're so terrified to go to the places that we need to go in order to get the peace that
Because
most people are desiring.
I'm not a book scholar. All of my work, as you know, Rach, comes from the School of Hard Knocks. But I have read and I try to read because now in my later years, I'm just hungry for knowledge and reading and shit, writing a book or two. Um, Apologize for swearing. Um, Carl Jung talks about the fact that when we're in pain and prolonged periods of pain, we get more comfortable in sitting in that zone than the actual thought of getting out of it. So, life trauma is an opportunity. And coming from the boilermaking when I was getting burnt while I'm welding, but I learnt to lean into that burn and to center myself through that pain. If you take those moments and just, as I teach my stepdaughters, keep your peripheral vision on, and be aware of what's happening around you, those moments and those signs will come that you get off the treadmill of life, and you can be with yourself, because by spending that time, and it is uncomfortable. From 2020 on my second breakdown at COVID, for 4 years, I processed all of this and grew through it. And for 12 months or more, I didn't know who I was. Was I the boy from Mount Isa? Was I the boilermaker? Was I the booze guy from Saudi? Was I the diver? Who was I? And that was part of the process, Rach, of writing that book.
Yeah. And and I mean, even if you haven't got a hard and fast and big life like you've had, you could be just like, and I don't want to say just because it's an enormous role, but you could be a parent and still
Yes,
lose yourself. You could be married to somebody and
yes.
still lose yourself. You could have a job uh, and you could still be losing yourself. So, what is the first step someone should take? Like if they haven't got the peace and they haven't got the balance like you have, what is their first step to take that journey and take that road to peace?
I say this gently, but if you want to do this, you've got to be in it. Stop lying. Stop lying to yourself and stop the lies coming into your life.
Yeah,
As I say, Rach, and live life from the inside outwards, not from the outside inwards. Give
yeah,
yourself that time, and by negating the lies and getting rid of the lies, that shortens the cycle for you to end up sitting with yourself. Because when you get rid of the lies, you're left with reality, and anxiety, depression find it very hard to live in reality because you're not
well,
worried about the past or the future.
and things are going to catch up. Things are going to catch up to you, aren't they? Because
Yes,
there's so many distractions. Like there's so many butterflies to chase, and there's so many blingy blitzy things that people um, see and want to go after and do go after, but it comes a time where it does get exhausting, and that's a red flag right there, isn't it? That when you're sort of seeing that, you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, this is not where I'm meant to be, or this is not satisfying my soul, or this is not aligning with who I am. And it's at that kind of point that you get that insight, but some just keep going and burning themselves out, or they create drama or create situations in their life that keep
because
them
it's more
from
comfortable.
being distracted. Yeah, keep
Um,
them being distracted, and rather than just finding that peace. I don't. So why do you think people do that to, I mean, when, peace is so wonderful. It's a blissful state. It's just, I mean,
Yeah.
your life now, Scotty, if you want to talk about that compared to what it was, why don't we want that?
We all do. We all do, but not all of us. And I spent 4 years from 2020 with a wonderful, wonderful psychologist, Barb. She's now retired. But she gifted me some thought processes that I have in my programs and in my book and everything, that we do get off track, but those little, as you touched on, those little alarm bells do go on. And that's why I say keep your peripheral awareness on, because those alarm bells, those moments will come to you. And if you look at them, you can't unsee what you've seen, and it will keep creeping up on you. I can talk a lot, and there's an expanse of what I'd like to say, but just be aware of what you're feeling, not necessarily what you're thinking all the time, because in most mental health and in most of our lives, the thought process just keeps looping over and over, and then it goes into an oval loop, and it punches you right in the front of the head every time you keep running that story over.
Mm,
Take the lies out, take the stories out, you're left with just you. Some people don't think that they want that, but I'm telling you, from the guy in Saudi Arabia and the treasure hunter and doing shipwrecks and all the rest of it, this one is the best version of what I've got. That's Matthew McConaughey chasing, the next
green light.
5 years, and then, yeah. But that process has to involve the rewiring of your default settings, and that's connected to your inner self. Stop this self ruling this self.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
So if there's one thing that somebody could do today to rid themselves of the stress, the mayhem, the chaos, because that's what addictions, just the chaos, I suppose. Let's just
yeah,
pull it all into one word. What would what is your what would you say to them? Okay, today do this, and help them move forward on that
yeah.
journey.
Yes. The move forward part is the 100% special part in your question. This process takes time. Be prepared that it will take time, because it took a long time to get to where you are. It's going to
Mm.
take some time to get out of where you are. But I said, um, lose the lies. Um, Lose the lies in your head, in yourself and about you're happy where you are. Um, if you're feeling unhappy, if you're feeling uncomfortable, but yet you're telling everybody that you're okay, life's good, I've got a big house, I've got all this, I've got a Mercedes, but I'm in debt up to my eyeballs, and my children, I don't look my children in the eyes because I'm in too much running around chasing that dollar. Let the lies go. And then I would gently say, Buteyko breathing. And sorry, I can't spell it, but Google Buteyko breathing. Also, Google on your phone, where does my subconscious come from, and where is it built? If those epiphanies don't wake you up, or give you some thought process to be thinking about, that's you've got to wake up a little bit to be awake while you're going forward.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the lies, the breathing, and finding out who you were originally before all of these different personas came up.
yeah, because that's what you did. You met your original self, and that helped guide you through the chaos to the out the other side. Well, I just wanted to raise that you do have an app, which we're going to put some links and everything else through
Wonderful.
to your app, because in that app, I've got that app on my phone.
Yep.
Just show everybody. Rise Strong. So that's the app right there. Oops, you can see. And in Scott's app, there is a daily activity you can do. There is the breathing techniques that you use. There's a journal. I think it's really good. Journaling. We had another member actually. She creates journals that I just saw in the Skool Bookshop just before. But journaling is such a powerful thing because that is a way for you to connect with how you are really feeling and sort of clarify it, but articulate it rather than just letting it get messed up in the looping and the chaos in your
Yes.
head and everything else. It's a way to structure it out. I think
And
is
journaling, sorry,
important.
Rach, journaling, yes, do the journaling, please do, because in the app, it's in there for a reason.
Yeah,
In 2013, when I had my first breakdown, I journal, and I do journal. I've got ring binder folders and a cabinet full of them here. But um, doing the journaling, when I was in 2020, having the second breakdown, wondering how I got back to where I was back in 2013. Um, but that's all coming up in my next book. But the journaling let me know where I was back then, and then I could read that in 2020 and go, "Wow, I can see
yeah,
the similarities of the feelings, but I can see how far I've come. So, wow, I can now come or go even further." So, yeah, and be kind and be baby steps. I talk about it a lot. And my favorite saying in Bahasa Indonesian, sedikit, sedikit, lama lama, jadi pukit. That little dyslexic child that repeated grade 10 3 times went on to speak 4 different languages and paid cash for his first house. So, what the outside world said to me, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'll never be anything. The inside world, no, I'm not.
yeah, and you do. I think everybody. I don't know. I would assume everybody has at one point or another really felt belittled, um, but
Yeah.
like they were dumb or like they were stupid or weren't enough or didn't have this or didn't have that, less than. We'll call it less than. We'll pull it in the less than.
Yeah, not enough.
Yeah, and it's so difficult to have to cope with that. But the thing that I love what you said about this is that inside you know there is something
Yes,
more. You know you're capable. You don't
we all do.
might not be able to know exactly what it is because that's what life is. It sort of shows you when you're ready and when you're wanting to move forward. It does bring different things. It brings, okay, well, here's your first step, and it shows you that, and then you take that step, and then you progress to the next step, and it brings that person in or that situation or that opportunity, and you do sort of move forward. But as you said, sometimes slowly as well. But in all of it, inside, you know that you're destined for something better, greater, whatever it may be.
Peaceful,
Um, yeah,
peaceful. We're all in
yeah,
life, and where I sat in Saudi in front of billionaires and billionaires, and where I sat in the last 6 years in front of people struggling with mental health, 99.99%, all we want to do is be seen and validated.
yeah.
So you can see yourself and validate yourself, and that's why there's 6 programs in all my programs, and they're for different stages and different feelings and ways of how you're going through life. But in my mantra that I preach every morning when I stand on the sand dunes and look out to the ocean and watch the sunrise, and every afternoon, that neuro linguistic programming, which helps reset the default setting, the back end of the mantra says, step off the treadmill of life and put your toe in the water just for a second. You will feel whether it's time or that it's not time, but it is there. And the beautiful thing, I'm going to meet a gentleman very shortly, and I'm just speaking to a lovely friend of 30 years. We've all got this connection to our feelings, and I say it gently. So many ladies run on emotion better than what men do, and
Mm.
that's part of my course that I want to help show men and young lads better ways to connect with their emotions, because their emotions don't lie to you. They only tell you the truth, and you'll be happier for it.
Yeah, that's right. And I know that you're building a community a new community to help people understand emotional literacy, and also navigate mental health and a range of different other things as well, which we'll update the link when you've got that link for us, Scotty, so that we can
Yep.
put that into this post and this video so that everybody can see how to reach you and how to connect with you, because you've been so supportive. I mean, I know that I've been teaching you, but you've been teaching me immensely as well, and I really do appreciate everything that I love the connection that we have, and I love that
Thank
you
you.
reached out to me that day and were very
And you reach back, Rach,
dedicated in
but I
chopping
say I say
committee.
thank you very quickly for introducing me to Skool, for introducing me to Daniele, and several other people that you've introduced me to, but we can't talk here at the moment. The
It really
environment that I've found myself in at school, and the people that I share myself open with, Lee, don't judge me, and only encourage me. I would say, just honestly, um, in the very beginning, Rach, when I was struggling so much with some of the, I don't do technology very well. I'm learning better with it, but just as I said about the boiler making, and I say about life, just lean into the pain a little bit and be yourself, because being yourself will be true to your real emotions, and that will guide you to where you should be, where you can be. And when that opens up, dreams come
Yeah,
true all the way through.
they do, and they come faster. I mean, 8 months ago, you didn't have a book.
Oh,
You hadn't done any. I mean, it was just huge. And now
yeah,
you've got an app, you've got online programs, you've got a just about a school community. You're speaking, you're on podcasts, you're everywhere. Like I
yeah.
see you everywhere now, and I just think, wow, it is just so inspirational, your journey and what you've overcome to get to this point. But you've worked so hard, and it's all so well deserving, absolutely. And you're, like I said, such a great support for people, and an amazing connection for them to reach out to.
Yeah, that'll do, Rach. No, thank you. I just doing what I was built for when I was little, and I'm just reciprocating what the universe gives me. I'm just pushing it back out to as far as I can, to all the wonderful people. Christelle in LA. I have two books in LA now. And as of Monday night, I have two books in Bali. So there's a lovely coffee shop over in Bali that may now be starting to distribute my books in Bali. So when you're there, by all
Yeah,
means, but
I think you met
that's you.
Christelle. You met Christelle here in the school
Yes.
bookshop, didn't you?
And
Yeah,
then and that's the universe again, when she wrote that little on school, and then she put the video about how she was reading my book. I was sitting out at work, and I was in the office where I wrote a lot of that book on my own time. But I had little tiny misty tears, those warmy misty tears that come
yeah,
down.
yeah,
And as
nice.
men, we do cry, and it is good to cry.
Yeah,
Um, and it was beautiful, beautiful moment to have the realization of where I'd grown from and where I could go to.
And now
And you just,
someone in a country on the other side of the world
yes,
from you was
yes,
enjoying your beautiful book. And I just think that's
yeah,
wonderful. I mean, that's the beauty of that's what I love about the Skool Bookshop. It's sort of connecting people from all over the world, and they wouldn't necessarily have ever heard of The Boy from the Log or The Boy on the Log or any of the books. You know, it's wonderful, and the connections are real and they're lovely as well. Hey,
yeah,
Scotty, you're a
yeah.
legend. I love every,
No,
I love every time I speak to you. It's just such
thank
a
you.
pleasure.
I enjoyed speaking and sharing time with you, Rach. But that's one of the things in my book. I'm not a legend. I am nothing special that nobody else can't be. Just let go of the lies, learn to let go, and the universe will put things in for you in replace. But just dream big, and have a go.
Well, I can't wait to join your new community to learn more about emotional literacy and even navigating things like, you know, emotions, because emotions can be big. You know, you've got all your top predominant ones there. You've got anxiety, depression, you've got
Fear,
fear,
fear.
all those sorts of, like, you name it, you're going to cover it. And I can't wait to learn even more from you. Mate, thank you so much for being here today. You're a star, and look forward to talking to you more. And also make sure you head out and buy Scotty's book, The Boy on the Log, and
Amazon.
on Amazon or on his website or from his
Yes.
school community. It'll all be in there. So we look
The
forward to
website,
seeing you.
link on the website will be on here. Rachel will do that.
scottsoutter.com.au. All righty. Thanks so much.
Love your work, Rach. Have a great day.
Yours too.